Hello and welcome to SDN Tech Forum. We are starting a very new exciting series called SD routing, software defined routing. Yes, we are not separating control plane and management plane now. We are just trying to revamp our WAN infrastructure. Before we do that, let's understand how today's WAN look like. On the left side, you can see there is a SD-WAN fabric like Meraki fabric, Cisco Viptela fabric, and many of the customers they are enjoying SD-WAN fabric benefit. That means application aware routing, separation of control and data plane, and all those things. But on the right side, this is the traditional routing infrastructure. That means you are doing IGP, BGP to manage your network, and it is very much discrete infra. The intelligence is per hop basis, right? And that's where you are lacking some of the SD-WAN benefit like separation of management plane, lack of security integration because security is either centralized or regional, uh, or lack of cloud integration. So all those evolving benefits, they're not available with the traditional routing. So what you can do, how you can get ready and reap the benefit of SD-WAN fabrics. For that, now you can see our Catalyst SD-WAN manager, which is previously known as vManage. Now vManage can help you manage both your SD-WAN fabric and traditional WAN environment, and that's the piece we are calling out SD routing. So what is SD routing? Cisco introduced SD routing with iOS XE 17.12 and vManage 20.12 release. SD routing enable Catalyst SD-WAN manager, let's say vManage, to manage routers that are deployed in traditional routing deployment. Yes, it doesn't have to be a vEdge or cEdge. Any router can be managed by vManage. In past, obviously, only router that were deployed in SD-WAN deployment can be managed by vManager. But now with SD routing enabled, you can use the same SD-WAN manager or vManage to manage both your SD-WAN and traditional routing deployment. That's what I'm showing here, right? So single pane of glass for all your management things. That is vManage managing both your SD-WAN fabric and traditional WAN. What is supported? So what do you need? You need SD-WAN controllers, obviously, not all of them. Using some of the component, mainly SD-WAN manager or vManage and vBond, that is SD-WAN validator. We don't need SD-WAN controllers here because intelligence is still, or the control plane is still on traditional routers. We are just using the orchestrating component, which is vManage and vBond. What is supported? Pretty much everything what is supported for SD-WAN fabric or can be used in SD routing. And as you can see, uh, pretty much all the branch and core routers, they're all supported here, from legacy ISR 4K to latest Catalyst 8K. Okay. So how you can onboard your devices to SD routing? Onboarding is very simple and there are multiple ways to do that. I'm highlighting a few of them, mainly three. First is automated onboarding like PNP. You use your DSCP to go to devicehelper.cisco.com. From there, it will redirect you to the PNP portal and the device will be automatically onboarded. Then you have the bootstrap configuration. As you can see, uh, vManage uses bootstrap onboarding very much. That means you have a small piece of configuration loaded in your flash, and when it boots up, it creates a control connection. That's it. From there, you are managed via orchestrator. Then the manual onboarding. That means you get into the iOS XE CLI, do a small set of configuration, and using those configuration, the device will connect to Cisco SD-WAN manager. So this is what we are going to do, manual onboarding. Before we do that, I want you to be aware of some prerequisite. Obviously, you need to have software release version 2012 for SD-WAN and up, and iOS XE 17.12 and up. That's where SD routing is introduced. Of course, device must run universal K9 images. no NPE payload encryption images are supported. And most important thing is you need to be in install mode. That means your bin package, the software.bin package, need to be expanded and converted into multiple packages, and you need to be in install mode. Otherwise, if you're not in install mode but you are in 1712, interestingly, when you go to CLI and do command conf t SD routing, you won't see this feature available. It is not available until you are in install mode. And then obviously device must have IP reachability to SD-WAN manager and validator, of course, because you need to create a TLS tunnel. Netconf Yang models must be enabled. Yes, because the orchestrator to device communication is based on netconf protocol. And device must be configured with the following configuration like organization name, system IP, site IP, so vBond IP address and DNS name, and a WAN interface. This is basically the basic configuration we talk about to for device onboarding. You can do it via Bootstrap, you can do it via manual, all those things you can do. So from here on, we are going into demo. And for demo, how it is structured, first we will go ahead and create a PNP plug and play the placeholder for our device, the device we want to onboard to SD routing. And for that, the device is in question is here, the same router what we just finished configuring wired and wired part. Show version. As you can see, I'm running 17. This is C1131X, and we are running 171203. So we qualify for the release. All right. And this is the device we want to onboard. For onboarding, first we will set up the PNP portal. And for PNP portal, what you need two informations. One is show license UDI, that means your product ID and serial number. And you also need show crypto PKI trust points certificate. And let's say within these certificates, we need one of the certificate which is this Cisco IDE with SUDI, and you need a serial number for this one as well, because that is the information needed for PNP view, and you will see when we create the PNP. So first thing what we are going to do, we are going to create a PNP placeholder for this device. Next, we are logging to our vManage, and from that vManage we are going to sync to our smart account. So from PNP, vManage will fetch the device information from PNP or smart account to the vManage, and from vManage we will just create a placeholder for this device, that which site it should go if it happen to connect. Uh, like we create a placeholder or a home for this, and from there on we are going to configure our devices. That is this router in question. We are going to get into show SD. Let me show you right now if I have something with SD routing. So right now you see we don't have anything SD routing, but we are going to go into SD routing and configure this some minimal parameters like org ID, site ID, system ID, all those things, so that this router can create a TLS tunnel or get authenticated and create a TLS tunnel back to vManage, hence we can manage everything or this router from vManage. So that's the thing we are going to do. First thing, create a PNP portal, sync it with your vManage, and within vManage we are going to create a quick connect workflow, and from there we'll come back to this router, put the minimum configuration and let it connect to vManage. That is the goal of this video. In next video we will do advanced stuff, that okay, now my router is available in vManage, what you can do next, what kind of advanced capability you can use, like you can create your UTD containers, you can apply advanced malware protection policy, you can apply IPS, you can do URL content filtering, all kind of like a cloud security stuff that you can do. And also the troubleshooting monitoring perspective I'm going to show you when this device is available on vManage. So stay tuned for that. Let's go to PNP portal first. All right, Let's get started to build the stuff. SD routing. I'm here at software.cisco.com. You can go down here, and I'm assuming you have a smart account, virtual account, and a controller already available. If not, I'll show you how to do that. You can request a smart account and virtual account as a customer, and then come to network plug and play. Within network plug and play, as you can see, you have a smart account, and within smart account, you can go to controller profile. If you are a SD-WAN customer, you should have a controller profile already created. That's where your vManage, vBond, etc. lives. And here in my case, I have my vBond here. We are only going to deal with SD routing. From device, we are going to create a device profile by doing add device. And as I mentioned, this is the information you will need. And we don't have many devices, so we are just going to say enter device info manually. Go to next, identify device. And now here it need serial number, it need base bid, and your controller profile. I have just, let's do things one at a time. Yeah, 1131, 1131X. This is our bid. Let me get the serial number with the command show license UDI. This is our serial number. So about that, wrong screen. Come back, put a serial number here. Certificate serial number, and this serial number is essentially your crypto ISUD. That's what it is expecting. And if you are unsure about that, what you can do show crypto PKI certificate, and within the certificate there are multiple certificate. We are interested into, let me show you this part. So this is the certificate we are interested in, and what is our serial number? This is our certificate serial number. You can put that. I'm not going to do that. Let me skip and see if it will be discovered automatically in the next stages, because it's not a mandatory parameter. Now, no, yes, we have our controller profile. Device mode, this is important. You can have device mode when it was discovered, which mode it should go. Controller mode, that means it is a part of SD-WAN fabric, but that's not our case. We want to select autonomous mode. That's the state our routers are when we onboard them to SD routing. This is some description. Slide 53, second router. So I have two routers on this side, and you can do SD-WAN capable, etc. Let's not go into that. This is the minimum config we want, and let's say save. Go to next, and we are ready to submit. This is the summary. So now this device info is going to sit here and wait for the device to come and be in contact or try to contact this. So if you go back to device, you will see it is available in a device list. 73V, that is our device, and you can see the mode is autonomous and it's pending redirection because the router is not contacted yet. So this is our this side. Now let's log into vManage. Okay, this is my vManage. Within vManage, as you can see, for the baseline we have 13 WAN edges. Once we onboard, we should see one more. So let's go to configuration, devices, and I want to sync my smart account so that that device is available here. Because if today I search with 1131, I don't see anything. I'm going to sync, and for that I'm going to use my username and password and send to controller, yes, so that this information is sent to other controllers, in this case vBond. So smart account is syncing, it's fetching the updated information in real time. All right, awesome. Let's go back to let's go back to devices again. Great. Now you can see our device is available here. So has got information from smart account and reachability is down. Right now, what you can do a couple of things. You can actually generate a bootstrap configuration to onboard the device. There are two options: cloud init and cloud encoded string. Encoded string is base 64 versus cloud init is just a YAML configuration like this. So it is going to tell you that what is your UUID looks like, what is the org name, what is the vBond IP addresses, and all these things you can actually download, and this will come handy when you do a bootstrap configuration or any kind of manual configuration. We are not going to download it because I have the configuration handy. From there on, right now you can take this configuration and configure the router, and router should contact your vBond and come into force. But how do you know where it should land when you claim this, which site it should go, right? So for that, what you can do, you can create a placeholder for this. And that's what we are going to do. We're going to workflow, quick connect, and this will start a workflow. Welcome to quick connect. Before getting started, ensure you have the following configured. Okay, so we do have that. Import device serial number from PNP, select device to onboard, add a review device setting. So we are going to complete this step. I'm going to say skip for now because we already have this information. Select the device. This is our device. This is edge device, auto, but host name, let's say auto. That means it will automatically keep this, but once it is syncing in real time, it will fetch the host name from the device prompt itself. So leave it auto. This field is required. So you need to make sure that you are prepared with your basic configuration. And this is the good time to show you what we are going to use. Give me a moment here. This Let me quickly bring this planning sheet here. So this is the configuration we are going to use for our router. And as you can see, we have our org name, we have site ID predefined, and this is the system IP I'm going to use. And obviously, rest of the configuration is simple. So I'm going to say this is my system IP, and I want to assign it to one particular site, which is site 53 in this case. So when the router contacted vManage, it will be assigned to site 53. What if you want to create a site? You can also go ahead and scroll and create a new site, but for our case, we'll stick to site 53. And dual stack IPv6 default. Now let's go ahead and apply this, and next. Optional, you can tag your device. I'm going to maybe create a tag, copy tags from device, add tag, create new tag. I want to create a tag Soho, and I'm going to tag it. This will come handy when we want to apply some reporting and policies, etc. Next, summary looks good, and we are going to say on. That's it. So this is the quick connect workflow, waiting to for the device to come in contact with that serial number and system IP, and once that happens, it will automatically park it to site 53. Let me go back to monitor, and let's go back to our site 53 and see what we have in site 53 today. You can see we have one device in site 53, but that is a different device. That is 1111, and the system IP is 1053.255.1. Our new device will have system IP of 1053.255.2. All right, and why this is unreachable? Because I just switch the WAN connectivity from this device to our new device, because unfortunately right now I have only one internet connection to play with. Okay, so this is all you want to do here. Let's go back to the router. Okay, and we have a catch all applet running. That means we will see what is happening on the device directly. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just simply copy and paste this configuration. All right, and let's see what happened. So we have our org name, we have site ID, system IP defined, vBond IP addresses. Let me see if we can reach vBond from this device, right? That's important thing. Since we have internet connectivity, we should be able to ping this. Yes, it is available. So at this point of time, what you can do, you can go grab a cup of coffee, leave this router console running like this so that you can see what's happening. In a few minutes, what will happen, the router will try to log in or connect to vBond at PNP portal, and from PNP portal it will be redirected to the vManage. From vManage, our quick connect workflow will kick off, and then it will be parked in site 53. All right, one thing we want to check, one caveat is, let's go back to devices and find our device C1131. Reachability is still down. Okay, go back to configuration and certificates. Yes, this may be one caveat. 1131. This is our device, as you can see, 773V. Look at the config. Yes, so this is valid. Make sure your certificate is valid. Sometimes it is invalid because when you do a sync with your smart account and you don't toggle the button or say send it to controller to yes, then it may show as invalid, and that will break your SD routing onboarding. So make sure that your device certificate, the potential device certificate, is valid. So right now we are in good shape. It's just a matter of time that the device will come back in SD routing. Sorry about that. 1131. What we are expected to see here is reachability. Reachability should go up. And how that will happen? That will happen from device itself. Let's run some command. In meantime, show commands. Show SD routing, local properties, summary. The process for the command is not responding. Yes. So we have run into one of the caveat which we have already talked about, but we didn't follow. And what is that? That is prerequisite. We should be running netconf yang. So let's see. My guess is we are not running netconf yang. How to verify that? Show netconf yang status. Yes, so netconf yang is disabled, and because of that SD routing workflow is not kicking. Enabling netconf is simple. I'm going to say netconf yang. That's it. Once you do that, the netconf yang process will start on port 830. Let's verify that one more time. You can see this is enabled. We are using port 830. And from here on, the device will actively try to reach out to vManage, and vManage, whenever the backend workflow complete, vManage will try to log into this device using netconf. Again, let's go back to our show commands with show SD routing. You can see the process for the command is not responding. This is where you have to wait. Typical wait time is roughly 10 minutes. Once you meet all the prerequisite criteria, 5 to 10 minutes you need to wait. When you come back, you will see the device is actively trying to make a connection, and there are other commands which we are going to run once we made the connection. That is all right. As you can see, we have few things started happening already. So SD routing connection summary. This is what we are going to expecting to see, that SD routing has DTLS tunnel back to vManage. First, it will make a DTLS connect to vBond, but that is non-persistent, and there is a persistent tunnel that will be connected to vManage itself. Now we have all the logs while we are talking here, as you can see. Okay, vManage connection preferences change, and all this kind of log, peer vManage system IP, public IP of my vManage, vBond, vManage logged in using vManage-admin. It has authenticated successfully. So things are kicking off, and let's see one more time. So connection is still not up. Let's look at the local properties. Yes, we do have local properties available, and it has all the information. What is your personality? What is your org name? Certificate if it is valid or no, DNS name, site ID, protocol what you're going to use, all sort of details about whatever goes behind the scene to connect this router all the way to the cloud, which is your vManage, right? So you are elevating the management plane, and this router will be connected to the vManage cloud. From there, you'll be able to monitor it, you will be able to manage it, and you will be able to configure it as well. Yes, here we are. You can see for last less than a second, actually, for last 48 seconds, we have a vManage DTLS connection. System IP is 62, and we have a vManage DTLS connection via our WAN interface. So this is great. That means we have connection, and it doesn't make any routing changes or any kind of changes. All it does is create this uh, DTLS connection back to vManage so that this router is available to monitor and configure, but it doesn't make any configuration change. What else it does, if I show you, show run, begin SD routing, you remember we just configured a few lines of command for SD routing. Okay, so it looks like things are still in progress because we are ending here. Let me do a complete show run. Do a term LE0 and show run. And we are going to look at very bottom of the configuration where we have our SD routing parameters. What else you see here? This is new. So you can see telemetry IETF subscriptions. vManage, when it created a DTLS tunnel to this router, after doing that, using netconf, it is pushing telemetry subscriptions, many different telemetry subscriptions starting from 258 all the way to 2, and this is not linear like 281 then 283, so this is definitely not linear, but you can say see at least 10 to 12 subscription. And what these subscriptions are doing, these subscriptions are providing you streaming telemetry, and I have talked about streaming telemetry and netconf in a separate video. If you're not familiar, go back and check that. So it help us the monitor CPU memory real-time uses of this router via this various subscription. So that's what happened. Now we have seen enough from router perspective. Let's go back to the vManage and see how things looks like over there. Let's go to monitor first, overview, and let's say global, because that's where we started first. We have 13 WAN edges and one is unreachable. Okay, which one is unreachable? My guess is 1111 is unreachable because we have unplugged that. All right, now let's go back to configuration and device and filter our device. See 1131. You can see this is device is in sync, reachability is up. Awesome. This is what we wanted to see. The reachability is up. Now from here on, what you can do? You can do multiple things. First, you can look at the running configuration of the device. So vManage is going to SSH the box and give you a show run in real time because we have the DTLS connection back to our router up. Okay, pretty neat. But when the device is already available on vManage, what do you want to do? You want to monitor it, the first thing. So for monitor, go to monitor and devices. From these devices, I'm going to select our site 53. As you can see, the health is up. This is my system IP, reachability is up, and I'm going to say alarms, events, real time, SSH terminal. These are my monitoring uh, parameters, and then I can troubleshoot, right? So let's look at few of them. If you click on real time, you can see this is my real time information for the device. I can run some commands. Say, for example, I want to check the control summary that we checked from the router console. You can see we have summary, one DTLS connection back to vManage, right? So you can run some real-time commands from here. What else you can do? You can go to, excuse me, you can go to system status, look at the device temperature, CPU, memory, and all those things. You can look it from here. Give it some time because it's less than 10 minutes, right? So though it's streaming telemetry, give it 5 or 10 minutes of time. This data will be populated. Let me go back. Let's go back to 53. So we have seen some real-time things. Now let's look at troubleshooting part. You can ping. You can actually use your VPN 0. I want to use my WAN interface, which is in VPN 0, to go to a random destination called Google DNS server. I want to use probes like ICMP. You can use TCP and UDP ping, but it depends whether the source will reply. So ICMP is a safe bet. You can run your troubleshooting pings. As you can see, we got loss 0%. So we got reply from everyone with this milliseconds, right? So the ping was successful and it actually runs ping with some parameters, right? So count is 5 and the destination is 8.8.8 using this source. And I have shown you the ping trace route. We'll do a speed test as well. Interestingly, you can do a packet capture as well. So that is really cool. Troubleshooting not applicable. So packet capture is not applicable for 1131X SD routing. That's a bummer. All right, let's see what else we can do. So we have packet capture, we have debug logs, we have verified all these connectivity things. Let's see if, and right now we don't have any tunnels, right? This is not SD-WAN device, so that's why it says not applicable for 1131 SD routing. Okay, let's go and see if we can do a speed test. So those are the few things you can do using your SD routing. Here you go. You can see CPU and memory data start showing and in system status. So we have allowed enough time for streaming telemetry to return the data, and the data is now available for your visualization. Next, what we are going to do, we are going to look at some of the security feature of this router that you can do or implement using vManage as as a management plane. So that is we are going to do in next video. For now, we are good. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.